We have a lot of exciting stuff, though, happening with My Footprint SaturdayAM, so, you know, it's a lot of stuff going on there.
Yeah, you talked a little bit about it already, but can you explain it to the viewers who don't know SaturdayAM, what it is exactly?
Yeah, so SaturdayAM, the easiest way to describe SaturdayAM is that it is a global, you know, shonen magazine type thing. So, you know, you've got Weekly Shonen Sunday or Weekly Shonen Jump. You know, in Japan, there are so many, you know, manga publications that come out. I think people around the world don't realize how many manga publications are in Japan. You know, they know the big ones, like, you know, Weekly Shonen Jump or, you know, just so many of the different properties that are out there. And, you know, for us, SaturdayAM was really meant to be working on two levels. It was meant to kind of be this nostalgia for Saturday morning cartoons, the way that it used to be. You know, you got up, and that was really where you went for original ideas. It's amazing to say that nowadays, because so much stuff is, you know, is franchised. You know, Batman cartoons every other year, and Yu-Gi-Oh, you know, 15 or whatever Yu-Gi-Oh is now. But you know, for people of my generation at least, you know, Saturday morning cartoons were a really indelible part of our introduction into geek culture. You know, what started this whole Marvel superhero movie thing really bore out of the comic books and the Saturday morning cartoons for people of a certain age. And I think that, you know, so for us, that was one of the real inspirations for SaturdayAM. But it also was things like Weekly Shonen Jump and stuff like that, where you have every, you know, we're not every week, but, you know, you have this reliable anthology of content that is similar. So you know going in, you're going to get some action, you're going to get some awesome artwork, you get some really cool stories that are original, they're not like Naruto or Dragon Ball ripoffs. And you know, you just kind of go at it from there. And so we were really enthralled by that concept. And so we created this digital magazine that really wanted to celebrate manga webcomics and action manga webcomics in particular, and celebrate also just all things that are digital. Because, you know, I never had planned for it to be a physical book that you got like in a comic book store. From a business standpoint, that is like a death sentence almost. You know, it's like it's very, very difficult to make money and survive in that realm. I think most of the people who do it out of nostalgia. But I mean, the future is clearly digital, and particularly again, we start talking about the idea of talking to people in the Netherlands or in Africa or in, you know, Latin America simultaneously. You know, it's like there's only one way you do that, and that's digital. You simply don't do that in printed format. And so, you know, SaturdayAM is that. You know, it's a digital manga webcomic anthology, bi-weekly, built for the modern fan of content. And you know, we have a lot. It's very diverse. You know, none of the manga inside are similar to one another. Comatose by Wally Wynn reminds me of an American independent comic book that would come from like Image or DC Vertigo.
Yeah, I'll just name up some titles. You got Raise On of Jamar Delfino and Mario Savansky. You got Postbots of Eric Ella. You got Saigami of Andrea Faros. You got Apple Black of White Manga. Bully Eater, Raymond Brown. Comatose of Wally Nguyen. The massively multiplayer World of Ghosts, but we have to see about that. But it's a big lineup. That's big.
Yeah.
That's a lot of talent together. Yeah. But how does it work? How do they go to you and say, hey, I want my manga published, or do you pick them out?
That's a good question. That's a really good question. I'm glad you asked that question. So, you know, obviously the webcomic scene has really exploded, and there are many different places that you can go to publish your content. You know, I'm not in the business of promoting other people, so, you know, if you want to publish your webcomic, there are lots of other websites you can go to. We are not that group. You know, we are focused on. We have a plan. You know, we're very focused on creating something unique in the world of webcomics. We have a mission to elevate webcomics beyond being viewed as kind of cheap or cheesy amateur content. We want it to be perceived as every bit as relevant as Marvel or DC or Image. And like I said, and that's my background. I worked on brand strategy for over a decade. So no, I mean, we have a totally different makeup of what we do versus all the other websites that are out there. And we publish the only way to get new content on our site, other than Afternoon WebX, which we'll talk about in a minute, is through SaturdayAM, which is a digital comic. So people go to www.saturday-am.com and they can read a lot of free manga of Apple Black and Bully Eater and Saigami and places stuff, comics like that. But all the new content for those properties is through our magazine, and that you pay for. And we want to be very realistic and respectful of our audience. And so each issue you can get for $1.99, or you can buy them. You can pay a $5 subscription, just $5 American dollars, $5 American dollar subscription for a whole year, and that's depending on when you do it. That's about 20 issues almost.
Wow, that's really cheap. That's really cheap.
Yeah, it's that's really, really cheap. And so to come back, I know I tend to kind of give like a whole picture thing. To come back to your question, so because our business model is so different, we are not a place where you just say, "Hey, I want to be in SaturdayAM." That does not stop people from saying, "Hey, I want to be in SaturdayAM." We have people saying, "I want to be in SaturdayAM" like multiple times per day, every day, 7 days a week, and that is amazing that we have in 6 months taken something that did not exist and become a brand that people really like and want to be a part of. That is a humbling experience. We simply are not set up to accommodate every single person who wants to create a webcomic. Again, other websites do that. That's where you should go if you want to do that. But for us, we tend to choose talent that we think fits what we want to do. And again, it's because we're small. B, because we have a different mission of what we're trying to do for SaturdayAM. And three, and most importantly, is that if you look at SaturdayAM, if you pick up an issue of SaturdayAM, it's totally different from concept to concept. Bully Eater is as different to Comatose as Comatose is as different to Apple Black as Apple Black is to Saigami, and so on and so forth. And because of that, we're really proud of everything that we do with that magazine. It is a really fun thing to read. But if we picked up every single piece that was brought to us by fans, we would have like 15 Naruto clones and 13 Dragon Ball clones, and it would just get very, very, just not fun anymore. And it's not saying those properties are not good, but it's just, we're looking to try to do different things so that people who pick it up get a real value for what they do. Yep. And so we tend to choose the talent that we look for. We have had people come to us and that blow us away, and so we're working with them. But we'll be announcing some of those people soon. But otherwise than that, we tend to find talent that we like and try to bring them into SaturdayAM.
And how can artists, how can it be picked out? What can they look for, or what can they, what can they do to get more recognized by SaturdayAM?
I think the first thing is simply to make a really cool original concept. I mean, a lot of creators, and it's very typical, by the way, and this is not manga-oriented also. This is something that happened when I was a kid. I did it, when I was growing up, I was a big fan of an artist named George Perez, and so I used to draw like George Perez and create concepts that looked like George Perez stuff, whether it was New Teen Titans or Avengers when he did that. And likewise, people, in the 90s were cloning Jim Lee or Todd McFarlane, and so it happens. It happens across the board. And nowadays, with webcomics, if you're looking particularly in the manga subspace, it is true that you see a lot of Dragon Ball, you see a lot of Naruto, you see a lot of clones out there, and it's and so that's never a good thing, right? It's like you have to find your own voice. When you're starting out as an artist, it's I think it's perfectly normal to copy a style so that you can learn your own, voice. Yeah. But once if you want to then move to the next level, which for us will be how we look at SaturdayAM, then it's like you have to do something original. You have to be trying to really tell a story, and that's the first thing. The second thing is to make noise. It's like really put your stuff out there on DeviantArt. Put your stuff out there on our Facebook fan page. It's like engage, because there's so much stuff out there that really good people get lost all the time.
Yeah.
And as I said, we'll talk about Afternoon WebX, but just real quickly, I mean, that is what Afternoon WebX was all about. Was that we saw really cool properties that just simply were not getting any love on some of these really big websites, because they're just a number. They're just one of 10,000 different comic stories. And, it's like, how do you even get any notice when you're like that? So, we created Afternoon WebX specifically to address that. And so, again, I would say, make noise, make sure that you're being seen to the groups that are out there, like SaturdayAM. So join our Facebook fan page, which is facebook.com/SaturdayAM, just all together. And make sure you have an original idea. And then, be realistic as well. I mean, it's like, if you know that you are not drawing at the level that you want to be drawing at, then, or telling stories at the level you want to be telling stories at, then accept that. Embrace that. Contact SaturdayAM and say, hey guys, would you look at my stuff and give me criticism? Seek criticism from other people. It's like, and be strong enough, be man or woman enough to accept criticism, good criticism, and work to improve. I mean, that's, like I said again with the sports analogy. No sports superstar ever became a superstar off raw talent. They became because they practiced every single day. And that's what separated them from everybody else. And it's the same thing for art. If you really want to have a career at it, and SaturdayAM wants to, that's what we exist for. We want to make webcomic, and people who create webcomics have a career at creating webcomics. We think we can do that or play a role in doing that. But to get to that point, we've got to have a level of talent, a level of cooperation that is high, professional. Yep. And so for you to get to that level, if you're an up-and-coming creator, you really have to work at it. It's not going to happen overnight. You're not going to be 15 years old and think you're going to be a SaturdayAM. It's just not going to happen. You're not at that level yet. You don't have the life experience. You don't have the artistic experience. So it's to be realistic. It's to work hard, be original, and make a name for yourself.
Cool. And can writers, solo writers or solo artists also join SaturdayAM, or do they have to bring the whole package, the artwork and the writing?
So, like I said, we're working to resolve that. What I would say is that it's obviously more difficult, and this is true of everybody. I mean, Image Comics would tell you the same thing, and Image Comics is a hell of a lot bigger than my footprint in SaturdayAM. So, but Image Comics is the same thing. When you talk to them, they say, hey, you need to have your own artist. Like, we can't help you. We are working to resolve that, because obviously we are digital, so we're in a unique position to put artists and writers together. And I have tried to do that on several occasions. I mean, there are creators who do approach me that I recognize that they have amazing talent. And so even though I'm already like extremely overworked, I try to find, if I think a creator is going to help us make SaturdayAM better, then I will do what I can to see if I can find them a cooperative artist or writer. Again, not every creator believes they need to have a writer or artist. They think they can do it. And like I said, SaturdayAM is not the place to think that you know something that you actually don't, because we will tell you very quickly if we think that you do not have the talent that you think you do. And so we try to be realistic, because I think that's the most respectful way to be to somebody. It's like, talking down to them and trying to make them believe something's not true is the most disrespectful thing I think you can do. So you have to be real with people. So
yeah, absolutely.
So we do try, and we're working on a process that will make that easier in the next couple of weeks. So.
How about how does it go for the artists that are being published? Do they earn something, or do they all do it voluntarily?
Yeah, so we've got like I said, we have revenue models in place, and everyone is kind of working on a different level. As you can imagine, some of our creators are very popular, like White Manga, and so they have different things set for them versus some other creators. So obviously, from a business standpoint, I don't get into that element of it on an interview. But what I will say is that if you look at what we're trying to build, we have a lot of different revenue elements in place. We have a shop that consists of T-shirts and art prints and things. And so our objective is not, like, I remember some of the websites that were out there, like they also had shops, but they did shops like through Store Envy or whatever. And they would sell things that, like, you look at and you're like, no one's going to buy this. Like, this is not, this has nothing to do with this person's work, right? It's like, I'm not going to, if I'm reading a webcomic that's free, I might add, the idea that I'm going to turn around and buy a coffee mug with this webcomics logo on it is ridiculous. That's not good business. That makes no sense.
No.
And so we don't do things like that. We're working to create things that I've created in the past, and we're working to make them relevant to the properties. We're trying to build brands for these web creators who own their own properties, I might add. We do not own any of the properties other than, I own my property, but everyone owns their own property. But we work with them to develop the properties.
Sorry, so, with their own property owning, do you mean they also keep the rights? They also keep the copyrights of the work?
Yeah. So White Manga, Dunze, he owns Apple Black. We don't own Apple Black.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So we're real big on that. Like I said, we want to turn this into something. We want to create a new business reality for the entire webcomic industry, and we think we can do that. But that's our objective. And so we have that. We have ads. We just got an awesome note the other day. We're starting to track our ads that we're running on our website, and we've boosted traffic for. I actually cannot remember the creator's name, but he wrote us to say that we had just by putting an ad on our website, we had boosted his traffic, and
cool.
That is awesome. That is awesome. So we're starting to get into advertising on our site, and we and in our magazine, and then obviously we have our digital magazine. So there are lots of ways for creators to make money with us.
But it's not like they have a contract and they have a certain amount to them every month or something.
Well, actually, no, that's not true. I mean, everyone operates in contracts with us. I mean, we are exclusive. So if you're with us, you're exclusive. But again, I don't think, we have a competitive advantage that we offer, and I intend to keep it that way. So we don't get into those details when we do interviews and stuff. Okay,
cool. And what about the collaboration you have with the artist? How does that go? Do they have their own? They have their own manga, like White Manga has his own Apple Black.
Right.
Do you have a say in things, or?
Yeah, well, so I'm the publisher of it, and everyone has a relationship with us that is very clear about what we accept and what we do not accept. So SaturdayAM is very much a mainstream publication. We are not. This is not an art exhibit. We're not here to tell stories that no one cares about. We want to create the most exciting stories that interest a lot of people. And so from that perspective, if you were doing some deeply personal, interesting work, again, we probably would not be the best avenue for that. I mean, it's SaturdayAM, which, for us in our heads, we mean Saturday Action Manga is one way to look at SaturdayAM. So, we're very clear with who we are. And so we don't, we're not a place for stuff that wouldn't fit that mentality. So we do play a role in some of the storytelling from that standpoint. But, I mean, the creators all tell the story they want to tell. We certainly come down, clearly about things like language and violence that is excessive. Like, I don't need to see, blood and guts, hanging off somebody if you're trying to tell a story in Apple Black. You don't need that.
No.
And conversely, again, these are amateur creators, and I'm very realistic with all of our creators. They're amateurs. Many of them have never sold anything before they got with SaturdayAM, and even the most popular ones have never sold anything before they got to SaturdayAM. So, we try to be very clear with them. Like, look, this is what you need to do to be successful. You make the decision at the end of the day, but this is what we think you should do, and here's the data to back up why we think you should do it. But we don't tell people like, you got to have this character, you got to make this character be like this, you got to do something. We don't do stuff like that. But we do tell them like, if you're going to go out there and do something, particularly at a young age that is advanced, like maybe making a very big political point or making a point about religion or something that could be very controversial, we're very clear to let them know like there's some things that we'll tolerate and some things we won't tolerate, because we're in the business of attracting people around the world. Yep. And making sure that our property is relevant for people around the world, and doing something that would be disrespectful to people or would offend certain sensibilities, all because you think that that's a way to tell the story when it's really not. Like, that's just stuff that we don't necessarily go with. So
cool. And the reading direction, is it from left to right, Western reading direction, or is
it's
it
Western? Some of the manga while you would turn the pages Western, some of the manga still, from a panel layout perspective, would be read right to left, but you still turn the page the same way.
Oh, okay. And how tough is it, this business for a non-Japanese publishing? Yeah, it's still a sort of manga-ish publishing agency. But how difficult is that to business in America or around the world?
Yeah, it's hard. It's very hard. We've been amazed at the success that we've had, but it's hard. Like I said, we have a lot of competitors, and me and one of the creators of SaturdayAM, one of the SaturdayAM comics, he and I laugh about this a lot because both he and I were subscribers to one of these websites. And we're the only two people that we knew were subscribers. Even the creators who put their stuff on that website weren't subscribers. It is digital is a very tricky animal because most people, for the most part, do not believe, and a lot of young people at that, don't believe that you have to pay for content. And we obviously don't agree with that. We think you should be willing to pay for content. We price SaturdayAM as inexpensively as possible. But there's a definite education there to explain to people that this is content that's worth paying for. If you care about, I had a conversation with them the other day, and I was explaining to them that, it's like, if you really are a fan of someone like White Manga, who's very, very popular, if you're a fan of him, then you want him to continue doing what he's doing. Yep. And he can only do that if he actually can pay his bills, right? It's like he can't spend every waking moment doing this. And the kicker was that this kid was saying, they're like, well, I get it. I don't feel like paying for it and stuff, but I get what you're coming from. And then he made this comment. He's like, but I want to be a webcomic creator for SaturdayAM one day. And it's like, how would you do that if you don't even pay for the thing? It's like, if you were working for us, and it's like, we're in the business to make money, So it's just a very bizarre. I think a lot of young people, it's one of the things that's most fascinating about this new generation of kids around the world. As I said earlier, they don't have the same national issues that previous generations had. Like, they don't see America as this foreign place. They don't see Japan or Australia or Chile as some foreign place. They see people as people, and it's really beautiful. It's awesome where the world is going. At the same time, because they have smartphones and tablets and things are so easily disseminated, it's very difficult, I think, for that generation to accept that just because it's fast doesn't mean it's free, and that everything that's worthwhile should have a price. There should be some sense of accomplishment for everything. There's a feeling that you get when you actually spend money to own something that you can't replace, And so it's really difficult. But again, we've been amazed at the success we've had to date. I mean, we're making revenues. We've got fans that are around the world. We've got people who are writing us from places that I never would have thought would have cared about manga, like Central New Guinea of Africa, and Central Guinea, within Africa. It's amazing. And so we're just, really, really amazed at the success we're having. But anyone thinking of doing this, you can talk to any independent webcomic creator. It's very difficult. Very, very difficult.
Cool. Well, time is almost up, and we are reaching the end of our show. But before we take off, Mr. Jones here has something to share with you viewers, right?
Yes, absolutely. So we wanted to really honor this opportunity to speak with Musiaki and How to Bam and all the viewers of How to Bam, and say that we're so appreciative of the attention that you guys have given to us and the passion that you've shown to us, and that we really want to honor that. And so we have some giveaways that we want to do. It was a mild contest, if you will. And really what we're looking for is for people who will tweet that you saw SaturdayAM, and our Twitter symbol is @Saturday_AM on how the number 2 and then BAM, and that if you can just tweet that, and then the hashtag for that tweet is #SaturdayAM BAM. And if you do that, and simply let people know that you've experienced the interview and that you support both How to Bam and SaturdayAM, we're going to take 3 random people for that who do that, and we'll just randomly go through that group, and we will give away a T-shirt and an art print to all 3 lucky winners. And for the two random winners, we'll give away a free issue of Saturday AM, and which will be issue number 5, our latest issue. So if you've not subscribed, it's a great way to find out about our content. And we'll do that and give away an art print and a T-shirt to 2 lucky winners. To the 3rd lucky winner, we'll give away the art print, we'll give away the T-shirt, and we will give away a subscription, 20 issues, completely free, to 1 lucky winner. And again, you do that simply by tweeting that you watch the at SaturdayAM interview on at HowToBAM and hashtag SaturdayAMBAM. And I would say that since we have so many great fans out there who are webcomic creators or future webcomic creators out there, as I indicated before when Musiaki asked me about how people can get noticed by SaturdayAM, the same rule applies here. So if you would like to be noticed and stand out in that random contest, attach a piece of art. It's very easy to do. Just go into Twitter and upload a piece of artwork if you want to attach something you've drawn previously, or if you want to create something brand new, either featuring iPod Boy or one of the characters from SaturdayAM. We would certainly love that, and that will certainly help us discover you even faster. We will take many of the people who submit entries, particularly artwork, and we'll make sure that we also run them on our respective sites or Facebook fan pages to make sure that your artwork is seen by thousands of people. And that's the contest.
That's really exciting stuff. Thanks. Yeah, there isn't really a market for non-Japanese manga artists, and SaturdayAM is one of the publishing companies building the roads for us manga artists. And I really appreciate what you are doing for us. And I hope we all can support the community. So let me talk to you viewers out there. If you want to get your manga published one day, then we all have to join forces together. And one thing we could do to support that is buying a subscription from SaturdayAM. It's only $5 for a whole year. So go to Saturday-am.com. So by supporting SaturdayAM, you will not only get the best manga series to read for a whole year, but you also help building the road for yourself. Frederick, thank you so much for joining us. And good luck with SaturdayAM, good luck with your manga, good luck with everything. And we hope to see more of you.
Well, I do appreciate Musiaki. As I said before, I think your interviews with HowToBAM are fantastic. You're really one of the better interviewers that I've ever seen.
Thanks.
You ask some great questions, and I hope more people check out HowToBAM. I hope you do more interviews with some great talent.
Yeah.
I'll certainly be watching it. And again, it is a real honor to be a part of this, so thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we have some interviews coming up pretty soon. The plan is to have an interview every month now. And some new shows are coming up, so everything is going and flowing, so check it out.
Cool.
Frederick, thank you so much again. See you next time.
All right, take care, guys.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Okay, thanks, Bammers. That's it for now. Thank you for watching this video. Let me know what you think of this interview. Was it useful? Was it helpful? Let me know by leaving a comment in the comment section. If you like this video, please share it and hit that like button if you do. Next month there will be another interview with a mangaka. I hope to see you next time. Jane.